think it's a pleasure to have all of y'all here today. I think I have not been on many of the sessions. I think it's been a gap for me, but it's my pleasure to kind of be back on the session and with all of y'all. So I welcome you all to this wonderful session. Of course, Mr. Vaze is always one step ahead of all of us, and he always has a lot of knowledge to share. And we look forward to this, entrepreneurial session that he has, and the enterprisingness that he gets to the entire session is beautiful. So without much ado, I think I'll call upon Govindji to first, say a few words to kind of get us on, and then maybe Shraddha can, give a brief introduction of Mr. Vaze. So over to you, Govind bhai.
Respected Vaze sir and friends, I have great pleasure to welcome you all to this study circle meeting organized by Human Resources Committee of Bombay Chartered Society. Friends, the subject today, importance of prayers, प्रार्थना का महत्व, प्रार्थना की शक्ति। दोस्तों, हम जिस देश में रहते हैं वो देश आस्थाओं का देश है। हमारे हर विचार से, हर कर्म से आस्थाएं जुड़ी हुई हैं। हमारे ऋषि मुनियों ने बहुत सारे सिद्धांत प्रतिपादित किए हैं और उन सिद्धांतों में, उन सभी सिद्धांतों में प्रार्थना का अद्भुत महत्व समझाया गया है। प्रार्थना की शक्ति क्या है, प्रार्थना कब करनी है, किसे करनी है, क्यों करनी है। अगर हमारा इतिहास, हमारा अध्यात्म उठा के देखेंगे तो मालूम पड़ेगा प्रार्थना नियमित रूप से प्रार्थना मानस मात्र में चलती ही रहती है। हर समय मनुष्य कुछ ना कुछ प्रार्थना करता ही रहता है। क्यों करता है, कैसे करता है, इस सब के पीछे जो सिद्धांत है, इस सब के पीछे जो विज्ञान है, शायद हम सबको नहीं मालूम। हमारे ऋषि मुनियों ने अनेकानेक शास्त्रों में, अनेकानेक ग्रंथों में इसका वर्णन किया है। हम सभी लगभग 20वीं शताब्दी में जन्म लिए हुए लोग हैं। हमने उन ऋषि मुनियों को कभी देखा नहीं है, उनके बारे में सुना है, उनके ग्रंथों को पढ़ा है, लेकिन हमारे साथ जो साक्षात ऋषि के रूप में मौजूद हैं, जिन्हें मैं पिछले 30 वर्षों से भी अधिक ज्ञान के सागर के रूप में मानता रहा हूं, वो श्री चंद्रशेखर वजे आज हम सबके साथ उपस्थित हैं और उनके साथ मानसी जी। दोस्तों, आशा ही नहीं पूर्ण विश्वास है कि आज का ये सत्र हम सबके लिए अत्यंत सुखदायी होगा। अत्यंत इसका महत्व हमारे जीवन में कितना है, यह हम भली भांति समझ पाएंगे। चंद्रशेखर जी के बारे में जो लोग नहीं जानते हैं, उनके लिए मैं श्रद्धा से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगा कि उनका सूक्ष्म परिचय हमारे सभी मित्रों को कराएं। श्रद्धा प्लीज।
थैंक यू सर एंड वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू वजे सर। और जैसा कि गोविंद सर ने कहा, आई डोंट थिंक अपनी फ्रेटर्निटी में ऐसा कोई होगा जो वजे सर को नहीं जानते। मैंने खुद ने इतने सारे लेक्चर्स अटेंड किए हैं सर के, और मतलब अगर कोड ऑफ एथिक्स के कोई गुरु है तो वो सर वजे सर ही है। सो एज सच तो इन्हें फॉर्मल इंट्रोडक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है, पर फिर भी हम यहाँ पे लोगों को बताना चाहेंगे कि वजे सर के बारे में, उनकी प्रोफाइल के बारे में थोड़ा कुछ हम बताना चाहेंगे. So Vaze sir has been practicing as a chartered accountant since 1980, which is more than 40 years. He has been actively participating in work of many professional bodies of chartered accountants. He has also delivered lectures and written articles on taxation, banking, and allied subjects, and of course, code of ethics. I'm sure यहाँ पे जितने लोग हैं उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं कोड ऑफ एथिक्स के आर्टिकल्स पढ़े होंगे, तो ऑथर वजे सर ही होते हैं. मैंने तो आज तक जितने भी पढ़े हैं. He has delivered lectures and written articles on Valmiki Ramayan, Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita, and many other social subjects. So I'm sure जिनको इतना knowledge है रामायण महाभारत गीता के बारे में, तो इस लेक्चर में तो जो हमारे हम हिंदी में कहते हैं श्रोता, उन्हें बहुत मजा आने वाला है. He has anchored musical and other cultural programs, actively connected with arts and literature, and he has been directing plays in Sanskrit language and also worked for promotion of Sanskrit language. So this is very inspiring for our generation, someone who is promoting Sanskrit language and also being connected to art and culture. Apart from above, he has been trustee and ex-president of Maharashtra Seva Sangh Mulund, which is an 84-year-old reputed organization. He's been a president of Sanskrit Bharati, Konkan region, director of Jan Kalyan Sahkari Bank Limited, member of Board of Studies for subject of Sanskrit in KJ Somaya College, held many responsible positions in many organizations, recipient of Yoga Mitra Award from Yoga Vidya Niketan, Vashi, Mumbai, recipient of Best Social Worker Award from Senior Citizen Association, Mulund, and recipient of Jal Dastur Award for Best Feature Article in our very own BCA journal. ये तो काफी कम शब्द है सर के बारे में. जब हम उन्हें सुनेंगे तो हमें और इम्पोर्टेंस पता चलेगा. So, sir, very warm welcome, and again, it's our pleasure to hear you live, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shraddha. I think that was a wonderful introduction by you. And a loud round of applause. I think we are all from our virtual homes right now, but I think we can definitely put our hands up for this. So I think, yeah, that's we also have another speaker with us today, Mansi Amdekar. So she will also join the stage with Mr. Vaze. So just a quick introduction of Mansi. Mansi has also been on our program earlier. She's a counseling psychologist currently. She's been a director at Sarthi Counseling Center, Thane. She's working in the field of mental health for the last 10 years and counseling people. She specializes in various remedial therapies for adolescents and patients with mental retardation and autism. Earlier, she worked with Kendriya Vidyalayas and IIT Bombay as staff psychologist, and now working at KV Pendarkar Junior College, Dombivli. She has been conducting career counseling and adolescence education programs for youth and school children. Apart from that, she also has a lot of other, achievements to her kitty. A certified voice artist of Prasar Bharati. She's also has been working for Akashvani Mumbai as a radio jockey for the last 10 years on 100.1 FM. She has also been working as a video jockey for Mumbai Doordarshan. She has been a professional anchor for government award ceremonies and functions for the last 7 years. Apart from this, she has also acted in a feature film called Hasri In, which is also a very famous, film that we yet to watch. But I think you must go and see this movie. She's also, acted in various commercial stage plays. So I think with this, of course, Mansi has also set the stage on fire. So let's welcome Mr. Vaze, and then maybe after that we have Mansi also on stage. So a loud round of applause for Mansi as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so over to you, Mr. Vaze. I think the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Ryan. So, the Honorable Chairman of our HRD Committee of BCAS and my very senior colleague in BCAS, Mr. गोविंद जी गोयल, हम जब प्रार्थना करें तो गोविंद जी की ही प्रार्थना करते हैं और उनकी हिंदी जो है वो सुनने में इतना मजा आता है. And then he has been very lavish in praising me, although I know my limitations. Then the coordinators of this HRD committee, Madam Gracie and Ryan, and other members of HRD committee and other participants. Namaskar and good evening to all of you. Mansi, Amdekar and myself, we are once again at your service with a fresh topic. Last year we spoke on stotras and mantras. Today we are going to deal with the topic of prayers, and I would thank Gracie Madam for suggesting this topic. Well, last year I spoke for a longer time on stotras and mantras, and we gave very limited time to Manasi because she was just getting introduced to our BCA crowd. But then many people afterwards gave a feedback that her presentation on the scientific aspect, the research that is going on the impact of stotras and mantras, with how it affects our brains, how it creates the waves, how it creates the frequencies, that aspect people were very much impressed with. And that is why this year I thought that I will be speaking for a very short time, because the focus of the topic is on the scientific aspects. See, whatever I will be dealing with is normal social, cultural aspect, or you can say the philosophical aspect, or this religious or spiritual part of it, which most of us have heard many times from our parents or from many other sources. But very few of us might be really aware of what kind of scientific research is going on in this. In fact, I'll be giving you certain examples, especially in the medical field. Why medical field? Even in all scientific fields, prayers are now assuming a lot of importance, which will be perhaps something striking for us. So my duration will be about 15 minutes. Then I think Shraddha is going to share with us certain new venture or activity. In fact, the real sense of prayers is that because prayers is not what we simply recite mechanically. And how Shraddha introduced me is the live example how the prarthana should be, in the sense that she put her emotions into it. She put the sentiments into it. She did not just dryly read out that introduction. So this is what exactly is prayers. Why our prayers are not effective and somebody else's, some other devotee or some other bhaktas, the effects are prayers are effective, is that we lack what is called as this that sentiment or the emotion or the bhav. We say उसमें हमारा भाव नहीं है, हम mechanically we recite, and that is the distinction. So I must compliment and thank Shraddha for the way in which she introduced, although I may not deserve that kind of a praise. So now we come back to the prayers, now the topic proper. And see, in the stotra and mantra, what happens is, how stotra also are useful. Stotra is stavanat jayat. Stavan in the sense we praise the God. And mantra is mananat. Mananat iti, that means we do meditation, we do thinking about it. That is manana. So this is the difference, rather stotra and mantra. Whereas, and that is why they essentially contain words. Prayers is such a thing which may not contain any words at all. It could be a very silent prayer. You may be even a dumb person and still you can do the prayers. Perhaps even animals also may be praying to the God. So prayers are not essentially containing any words as such, but it is the intense desire of one person that is expressed not necessarily in words. In fact, I give you certain good examples or stories how without even words, the prayer was effective. So what is ultimately a prayer? Prayer is our very intense desire. It is the expression of our desire. And it is made to whom? It is made to the Almighty, to the God, to the Supreme Power. That way, even in our day-to-day activity as a chartered accountant, We write many petitions, we write many appeals, and at the end also we write prayer. And what is the prayer? We make it to the king, or we make to the government authority, or we make it to the judges. Whereas a little upper forum means Supreme Court, but above that also Lokmanya Tilak has said in the Bombay High Court that इस forum से भी आगे ऊपर एक दूसरा एक forum है, court hai, where I'll be absolutely not guilty, I'll be innocent. So that ultimate forum is ultimately what we call it as God. And our expressing our desire, that see, nowadays we talk of positive thinking, positive thinking. This prayer is nothing but positive thinking. See, we always believe that jahan hum rehte hain, wherever we are sitting, that vastu is that premises. It keeps on always saying tathastu, tathastu. Tathastu means let it happen that way. So that means we should always speak something holy. We should speak something always good. We should always speak something positive. If we start always talking negative, the vastu will say tathastu, and tathastu means its results will be negative. Now here on this, lot of scientific research, I am not talking it in emotionally, but this has been proved now, and therefore now even in medical sciences, they are introducing the concept of these prayers. See, in modern times, what happens is ultimately we are having constant conflicts. Two individuals, two nations, two religions, two sects of the same religion, they have been constantly fighting with each other. There is no tolerance at all with any person. And then there is a constant unrest. There is unrest, there are riots, there are calamities, there are strikes and burns. Then there are constant uncertainty. We never know what will happen next moment. There could be an accident. There could be an earthquake. There could be some health issues. Like suddenly somebody gets a heart attack. All these things are threatening our life, and they are threatening our peace of mind. Then constant calamities are there, which are natural or sometimes man-made, like wars. It's a man-made calamity. Then no solace we find anywhere, and that solace and that peace of mind we seek from our prayers, from the God. How Gautam Buddha actually turned to this spiritualism is that he saw misery, he saw poverty, he saw diseases, he saw death in his early childhood. And therefore he renounced everything and went to the spiritualism. And that prayers which he made gave him extremely super, rather we can say, knowledge, for which he is now known to be Buddha. Buddha means what? He who is extremely knowledgeable person. The most knowledgeable person is Buddha. Buddha is ultimately coming from Buddhi. So even small children, or in the sports, arts and culture, everywhere there is some degree of prayer, and how it affects our body, how it affects our career, how it affects your future course, that is exactly what is to be dealt by prayers. So this electronic and social media, now they are also disturbing our peace every now and then. There is air pollution, there is voice pollution. So all that, in that, what peace of mind is given only by prayers. Now there is a big struggle between small things like, that we enter, even for small things, there's a big struggle. We have to make a big effort. Just take the simple thing of entering the local train, or catching a bus, or getting admission to your child for some school. All this is now, that ease is not there. And that ease, which disturbs, because that lack of ease in our day-to-day life, which disturbs our peace. For that, the answer is prayer. Because if all of us desire strongly and positively that we will overcome all these difficulties, then we are bound to be successful. So that feeling of helplessness or frustration or depression actually takes us to the prayer. Because if we are very happy always, if we have no worries at all, then we may not pray at all. So that is the rather motivating factor for us to take to the prayers. And then ultimately, as I said, prayers is nothing but positive thinking. It is called Tritapa Harini. Tritapa means there are three types of troubles. Tapa means troubles. There are three troubles means they are Adi Bhautik, that means they are materialistic, or these are as for our body, physical nature. Then there are Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik means which are created by our destiny. That means we don't have good facilities, we are having poverty, or the family is not very conducive to our growth. And then we have adhyatmic. Atmic means spiritualistic. So the spiritual part is also sometimes disturbing because we believe in rebirth. So from the Punarjanma, if last year's legacy, if you have carried forward or brought forward, then that was called Adhyatmic Tapa. Prayer is supposed to be the Tritapa Harini. That means all these tapas, all these troubles are solved by prayers. Many scientists are there who have been now turned, in fact, they are hardcore intellectuals. They are atheists. In fact, I'll give you an example, which was a French doctor, and they were non-believers actually, and they were so-called rationalists. That means तार्किक जो कहते हैं कि only जिसे कहते हैं बुद्धि प्रामाण्यवादी, whatever is appearing here, whatever is visible, only that they believe. So they did not believe any super or supreme power. They did not believe in any God. So, but then sometimes certain incidents happen in their lives which are so striking that immediately they turn to become religious people, pious people. There was one doctor, and all these examples which I'll be quoting or giving are not from our Indian culture. Otherwise, you will feel that अरे हमारे इंडिया में तो बरसों से सदियों से ये सब चालू है, युगों युगों से चालू है प्रार्थना का महत्व. I am not going to restrict myself to this, but I am going to give you examples what happened in the USA, what happened in the European countries. So let us see how miracles are happening. There are thousands and lakhs of recorded incidents of miracles, and those miracles have not been explained by any scientific phenomenon so far. So there was one Alexis Carrel, was a doctor, very renowned surgeon, and he was an atheist, fully an atheist. That means he never believed in God. Now he came across an incident where his patient was almost on the deathbed. He was a very rich person, but he was on the deathbed. And he said, now that patient told him that I have heard that at such and such place, which is a few kilometers away, there is one spring of water. If you take a bath in that, and if there are people over there, they pray for you, then you are cured. Now doctor laughed at him. He said, it is nonsense. Now you're hardly 1 day, or means you are now the guest for only for 1 or 2 days. So why are you taking this much of risk? At least live here and peacefully and die peacefully. That was what doctors advised. But that rich person said, see, you come with me because you are also to see what, and ultimately you have to take my care. At least I must reach there safely. So you come with me. I'll give you all your fees, or I'll compensate for all your whatever you are losing in terms of fees and other things, but you please come with me. He went there. In that, whatever that staff persons were there, they prayed for him, and then the condition was that he should take a plunge into that, he should take a bath in that spring, which was, the doctor said, it will kill him. But he said, no, now see, this is the strength of your Shraddha, this is the strength of your devotion. So he took a plunge into it. Doctor said, now he won't come out at all. And lo and behold, actually, when he came out, he was actually a very fresh looking person, and he was completely cured day by, means in over a period of time. Doctor was just stunned. He could not understand what happened. He said in that water, perhaps it must be purest of the pure water, and therefore there could be something. So he took the samples of that water. He said it was full of bacteria. So it was not fit for human consumption at all. But still, all the patients had to have at least 1 glass of water from that spring. So he was simply stunned, and he said, this cannot happen. And he turned to be a very religious person. And he's quoted to have said that the prayers is the most powerful thing in the world. That was his quotation. That was the citation. And that disturbed many of the atheists and rationalist persons in France, so much so that they harassed him. He had to resign his job. He went to USA and he actually joined Rockefeller Institute, and he studied and did research on the impact of prayers on the human body and health. See, the modern medical science actually treated human body as a machine. They never realized the importance of emotions. They never realized the importance of soft talking, soft words, gentle touch. All these were important. So these psychological factors that affect the health or the human body was ultimately recognized. And then he did so much of research in the medical field with the aid of the prayers that he received the Nobel Prize. So he was a Nobel laureate in this medical field, and he has observed that prayers is the most powerful thing in the world. I am aware of my limitations of time. I'll just quickly go through with it, what I need to share with you. So ultimately, these people who turned to be believers, there is a long list of that, and there is a long list not here, but everywhere. In fact, I'll tell you a very interesting thing. They say that doctor is nothing but a pleader between the patient and the God. And you must have seen that whenever a doctor writes a prescription, he just puts at RX. And nobody or hardly anybody of us would know what is the implication of that RX. Sometimes we believe that it is an instruction to the chemist, or it is an instruction to somebody, or to his compounder who is doing packing the medicines. Actually, RX is a Latin sentence, the abbreviation of a Latin sentence, which means that while writing the prescription, the doctor prays to the God, saying that whatever treatment or whatever medicine I am giving, oh Lord, please cure my patient. This is the sentence which is rather abbreviated as RX. That means the very medical profession, whom we say what we call it as the most scientific developments are there. In that also, basically, the importance of prayers is recognized and it is practiced. Not only recognized, but it is practiced. Then this is not only in medicine. I must now quickly hurry up. So this is basically that RX means this. Now God, as we say, is omnipotent. Omnipotent means Sarva Shaktiman hai. Omniscient means Sarvagya hai. He knows everything. And omnipresent, that means he sarvatra hai uska sanchar. So everywhere God is there. That is what we believe. So now that cold water bath, which he said it was full of bacteria, even that, if you had the pure intentions and your positive thinking, then even that did not hamper the health of that patient. On the contrary, it cured it. So, in fact, there was one sentence which said that I am the child of God and therefore I do not inherit any sickness. So basically, we are supposed to have been born as healthy persons. We cannot say that because I cannot inherit sickness from the God, because God is all ultimately standing, whatever is symbolism of the goodness, whatever good is there is ultimately represented by God. So there are many such things. So we say God is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Dale Carnegie, who was again a very celebrity writer and a thinker, he also said that ultimately prayers, without prayers, our life would be impossible. And he said the prayers are the most important thing in one's life. So, and all that was based on these personal experiences of these stalwarts. Then in for Alfred Lord Tennyson, a very well-known poet, he is also saying something about the same lines about the prayers. In fact, about the wordings of the prayers, see that concentration has to be there, in the sense that there Akbar Badshah की एक कहानी है, because why our prayers are not fruitful. अकबर बादशाह एक बार कोई नमाज पढ़ रहा था और उसके बगीचे में था, उसने चद्दर फैलाया था, and on his chaddar there was one girl who just walked and she was walking as if she was mad, and she rushed and वो उस चद्दर के उसका पाय उन्होंने पैर रखा और वो आगे गई. तो बादशाह noticed it, and next day he called her and he said, आपने ऐसा क्यों किया, मेरी जो चद्दर थी उसमें से आपने आपका गंदा पैर रखा और वो गई आप भागते हुए और मेरे पास देखा भी नहीं, तो I think you deserve to be punished. So she said, okay, whatever punishment you award to me, I will suffer. लेकिन मैं आपको एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहती हूँ, एक्चुअली मैं क्यों भाग रही थी कि मेरा जो फियांस है, that my fiance is in your army, and that troop, that army, that battalion has now come back from the war. So I was so mad to see my fiance कि मैं भागती थी और मुझे पता भी नहीं था मैं किधर से भाग रही हूँ, आजू बाजू में कौन है ये भी मालूम नहीं. Whereas आप तो इबादत कर रहे थे, आप तो प्रार्थना कर रहे थे, प्रेयर्स कर रहे थे, that means you were supposed to be one with God. You are supposed to be doing the prayers with concentration. तो आपको मैं कहाँ कौन थी, कहाँ कैसे आई, भाग गई, इसके ऊपर ध्यान कैसे गया आपका? तो बादशाह शर्मा गया. See, we should have faith, we should have full belief in the God's grace. Because another or two or three short anecdotes I will tell you that एक गांव में बड़ा famine पड़ा था, famine and a drought था. 2-3 years there was no rains at all. So all the villagers thought that they were advised by some sadhu baba that we should assemble in the temple and we should pray to the God. So they assembled in the temple, and it was noticed, they noticed it very interest that only one small kid of 5-6 year old, he had brought his umbrella with him. That means only he had the faith that yes, ये प्रार्थना करके हमें बारिश. Otherwise, what we do, we are skeptical people. What we will do is, चल तो देखते हैं, प्रेयर करके देखते हैं क्या होता है, देखेंगे. एक बार in a church, everybody in a similar situation of famine, they were doing prayers. And there was one small kid, again a 4-5 year old. So the father noticed that वो आंखें बंद करके क्या कह रहा है उसको भी पता नहीं था. So then that father called him closer to him and he said, बच्चे, what type of prayers you were actually doing? So he said, I don't know any words, I don't know what to pray to the God. I have not studied anything. I am just in the Montessori school. I know only ABCD. But I understood that the God should do something good for us. So I was just reciting ABCD in my mind. Beyond that, I don't know anything. But even that prayer also yields results. Because so what I'm trying to explain to you is that results, these prayers are not necessarily expressed in the words. But what is necessary is your emotions, is your concentration of mind. And your jo man ka bhav hai, that if it is there, only those prayers are successful. Otherwise, it is just a routine thing, reciting the prayers, reciting the stotras, that will not help us. So there they say, there is no disease that enough love. Ultimately, prayer, love is another, you can say, form of prayer. Because love is God and God is love. So they say, Dr. Benny Siegel, he is a US doctor, American doctor. What he has said, there is no disease that enough love will not cure or will not heal. There is no door that enough love will not open. And there is no gulf that enough love will not bridge. So love is prayer and prayer is love. Ultimately, we love God. We should love, in fact, wherever there is love, I think there is a lot of good things that can happen. In fact, Dr. Larry Dossey also, he has written a book on healing words. So gentle words, soft touch, all this actually yields results because it is just one form of the prayer. So in fact, if there are diseases, they call it as psychosomatic diseases. That means there is something psychologically disturbance is there. That is why the diseases occur, like asthma or these some diseases are like that. So these concepts of individual wholeness and interconnected universe is there. That is why just by soft touch, just by soft words, you can cure a person. And now ultimately I would say that even the chief scientists of NASA, which is the ultimate of scientific thing. So there also they said when that Apollo 11 was there, while it was coming back, they were all worried as to how whether it will land safely or otherwise there will be some explosion or they will land somewhere where there will be a lot of destruction. So all the NASA scientists assembled and they prayed that nothing unforeseen should happen. And in all our scientific institutes, so also in the hospitals, there is a regular system of prayers that shows that, and then somebody has said that doing good is well within your hands. If you are avoiding doing good due to laziness or irresponsibility, then you are a criminal. So that again, doing good things again is a prayer. So ultimately, I would end my thing with the prayers that all our saints, like Santa Gyaneshwar or all those Rishiminis, they used to always say finally that the prayer is not for myself, the prayer is not for my own benefit, but it should be for the entire society. And that prayer is Sarvetra Sukhinas Santu. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. That means all people should be happy, all people should be healthy. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. That means everybody should come across well-being, welfare So sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkha mapnuya. That means nobody should have any sorrow or anything sad in his life, or nobody should have any difficulty in his life. So sarve sukhina santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkha mapnuya. I thank HRD committee, Gracie, Ryan, and also Govindji, Sakshat Govindji, for giving me this opportunity. I'm aware that I actually made a very short presentation because I'm equally eager, like all of you, to see and listen to Manasi, what scientific approach or what scientific results have now come out of the research that she has been carried out. Not only she, but whatever universally the research has been done, she is going to share with us. So I'm very eager to listen to her. I thank you all once again, and I pray that all of you will be always happy in your lives, and keep on praying, keep on praying, keep on loving people, so that you will have the benefit of the prayers. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Vaze. I think that was a wonderful session. I think you're a man of few words, but you say a lot in those few words, I must say. So I think we thoroughly enjoyed your session. It was really intriguing, and like always, we will always call you back for more. So like all sessions, of course, have an interval. This time we have a more exciting interval. So we'll call back Shraddha to kind of give us RRC. So over to you, Shraddha.
Yeah, firstly, I'm very grateful that I'm attending this session. So thank you once again, sir. It was a pleasure attending this session. And I just want to quickly update everyone attending here that we are having our 9th YRRC Youth Refresher course. And it's been 2 years and now we are having it in physical mode. People who are not in Mumbai may join in a virtual mode, but we still encourage people to join in physical mode. We are having very interesting topics this time. So we are doing sessions on design thinking for professionals, metaverse in a professional's life. अब जो भी इतना virtual life हो गया है, I think metaverse is the next thing for any professional. So it is very important for us to be updated on it. और जो हमारे स्पीकर आने वाले हैं फॉर मेटावर्स, शी इज ऑल्सो प्रैक्टिकली मैनेजिंग मेटावर्स फॉर प्रोफेशनल्स. सो आई थिंक एक प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस मिल जाएगा हमें कि मेटावर्स से हमारी ऑफिस लाइफ, हमारी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ कैसे चेंज हो जाएगी. वी आर हैविंग अ सेशन ऑन ब्लू ओशियन स्ट्रैटेजी. वी हैव ऑलवेज kept hearing about it, या हमने बुक पढ़ी होगी, बट ब्लू ओशियन स्ट्रैटेजी को हम प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में कैसे अडॉप्ट करें, वो हम YRRC में our speaker is going to talk about it. Then we are having panel discussions wherein we'll be having a panelist who will be discussing on a very interesting topic. And last में of course we'll have networking activities and games. So वो बहुत interesting होता है YRRC में. People get to network a lot and know each other, which is indeed very important in our in the profession that we are in. And the good part is YRRC this time is open for professionals. So chartered accountants तो है ही, but other professionals can also join. So I'm sure if anybody needs any other clarity, they can reach out to me. Registration link मैं यहाँ पे chat box में paste कर देती हूँ. Details are uploaded on BCAS page. So I'm hoping to see a lot more of people in YRRC on 21st May. Thank you.
Thank you, Shraddha. I think that was a full buffet, a 5-star buffet of various things that we're going to have at the Youth RRC. It sounds pretty exciting, and I'm sure I think a lot of people would have already made up their mind who are on this program. So it's a wonderful thing. Maybe you want to just clarify who all are admitted up to what age, because I think that is something which
This program is called the Youth Refresher course, and hence जो networking activities है, all of that is youth oriented. So professionals below 35 years of age, ये हमने रखा है. तो for young people, this will be a great chance to network and know each other. And of course, the sessions are very exciting. So सोशल मीडिया पे आप BCAS के सोशल मीडिया को फॉलो नहीं कर रहे तो करो, एंड वहां पे यू विल एवरीडे गेट अपडेट्स ऑन इट. Timing of the sessions, so basically we are having a full day session. It will begin at 9. The session will begin at 9 a.m. We'll have meet and greet from from breakfast to dinner. हम बोल रहे हैं ब्रेकफास्ट से डिनर तक हमारे साथ ही रहना है आपको. So that is something. And again, the session will be physically held in Mumbai, and there are few participants who have requested that they want to join us virtually. तो हमने उनके लिए ये ऑप्शन ओपन रखा है.
Wonderful. I think that's a wonderful introduction, Shraddha, and I think this is a very good opportunity for everyone who's even close to 35 to kind of catch the last few years of the Youth RRC. So looking forward to everyone joining this thing, and it's going to be a big bash like we always have it. So thank you, Shraddha, for giving us a wonderful introduction to that, and that really I think is very helpful. Yeah. So moving ahead with our session, and I think we have another speaker with us today, Mansi Amdekar. We already introduced her at the beginning. So Mansi, can we have you? Yeah, wonderful.
Yes.
So Mansi, over to you. I think it's been I think quite some time since at least I heard you the last time. It was wonderful session last time as well, and looking
Thank
forward
you.
to today's session as well.
Am I
Over to you.
audible enough? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay. So I'll just share the screen and just let me know whether it is visible properly.
Sure. And while I think Mansi is sharing her screen, Shraddha has shared the link where you can catch all the details for the Youth RRC. Of course, if there is any more details that you need, you can always ping her separately, or you can ping her on the chat box itself. Thank you.
Yes. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can see you. But I think we can see the apps on the other one. Yeah, now it's
Okay.
visible.
Yes. So this is my screen. Okay. Importance of prayer is something I'll be talking about today. Okay. So I think I'm not visible here, but my screen is. Okay. Okay. So thank you so much for introducing me and my topic. Let's just peep into the scientific aspects of prayers. पहले आप सभी को धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी इस विषय को लेकर. आप सब लोग इतने इंक्विजिटिव हैं और इसे सुनना चाह रहे हैं, इसके बारे में सोचना चाह रहे हैं. I'll conduct the session both in English and as Hindi as well. प्रेयर एक ऐसी चीज है, प्रार्थना, कि एक कम्युनिटी की एक पहचान बन जाती है. इट्स आइडेंटिटी ऑफ अ कम्युनिटी एज वेल. सो लेट्स जस्ट पीप इनटू दिस सब्जेक्ट. Yes. So why do we say the prayers out loud? Because mental and physical stress is increasing every day. Pandemic is the most uncommon phenomenon. So the problems due to this is also something very new to all of us. And responses to the situation, which is extrinsic and intrinsic. तो इन तीनों एस्पेक्ट्स के बारे में अगर हम सोचें तो प्रेयर एक ऐसी चीज है कि शायद कुछ लोगों के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा विश्वास, एक बहुत बड़ी श्रद्धा साबित हुई है अपने मेंटल वेलबींग को बनाए रखने के लिए, अपनी मोटिवेशन को बनाए रखने के लिए. एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी हैपन टू टेल एवरीवन टू से इट आउट लाउड. लेकिन फिलहाल अगर आप देखें, अगर कोई भी न्यूज़पेपर आप खोल दें तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगी कि किसी एक कम्युनिटी के प्रेयर लाउडली कहने की वजह से बहुत बड़ी राजनीति चल रही है. So it has also become a part of Rajniti because it is a part of our everyday life. And why is it so unique to every community? Because थोड़े से ऊपर के लेवल पर देखा जाए, सुपर ऑर्डिनेट लेवल पर, तो हर एक कम्युनिटी इस दुनिया में ऐसी है जो नेचर पर या फिर किसी एक्सटर्नल फोर्स पर या फिर किसी के बिहेवियर पैटर्न पर या फिर किसी बुक पर या किसी इंसान के कहने पर विश्वास रखती है, विच इज अदर देन ह्यूमन लाइफ। आपके और मेरे जीवन से परे कोई एक इंसान है जिसकी जिंदगी इतनी अच्छी गुजरी थी, जिसके बिहेवियर पैटर्न्स इतने बढ़िया थे कि उसे सबने फॉलो करना चाहिए, और वो बिहेवियर पैटर्न्स मेंटेन कर पाना यही उसका देवत्व है, मतलब यही उसकी ईश्वरीयता है, ऐसा समझा गया है। और इसीलिए इन आवर प्रेयर्स वी प्रे टू द Almighty, we pray to the gods of every community. It might be it might differ from every religion, but इस मर्त्य विश्व से आगे, उसके परे कुछ एक ऐसी श्रद्धा है या फिर कुछ एक ऐसी शक्ति है जो हमें शक्ति देती रहती है, ऐसा हम सोचते हैं। So we keep praying. Where do we pray? The very first, let's just see. Prayer एक ऐसी चीज है जिससे हमारे दिन की शुरुआत होती है, घर पर भी और जहां पर हम काम करते हैं वहां पर भी। So as you can see, inside the class and also in the assembly, outside the classroom, or also while in a meeting or also at any corporate office, there are prayers conducted. आप कहीं पर भी जाइए, कहीं पे आप देख लीजिए, everywhere while starting something new or while attending some program or anything, the start or the commencement of the program is always with a prayer. Why is that so? So I tried to just sneak out and sneak into a lot of books, and I was very curious about it, so I just went further and researched about it. So yes, this is how it is. हम सबकी लाइफ में ऐसी कई बार घटनाएं होती हैं कि हमारे साथ कुछ अनप्लेजेंट एक्सपीरियंसेस आते हैं और उनके सारे आवाज हमें सुनाई देते हैं कि कोई हमारे बारे में कुछ खुसफुस कर रहा है, कुछ गॉसिप कर रहा है, एंड वी आर मेड आइसोलेटेड, या फिर हमारे सामने कोई झगड़ा कर रहा है, या फिर हम साथ में एक साथ खड़े हैं और साथ में कुछ बोल रहे हैं, या फिर जैसे यहाँ पे आपको दिख रहा है कि बर्ड्स और नेचर के कॉल्स हमें आ रहे हैं। तो ये सारी आवाजें हमारे कानों पर गिरती रहती हैं, एंड ये सारे साउंड्स, ये सारी आवाजें हमारे मेंटल वेलबींग पर, हमारे ब्रेन पर डायरेक्टली अफेक्ट करती हैं। अब आप सोचिए कि आप किसी ऐसी जगह पर हैं जहां पर आपके बारे में कोई कुछ कहता आपको सुनाई दिया है, और you get curious about what is being said about you, and you suddenly jump into the communication or sort of the conversation which is going on, and you suddenly start arguing about नहीं ऐसे कैसे कह सकते हो and all, and सामने वाला आपको उसके राय जो भी है या फिर उसकी तरफ से जो भी कहना है वो आपको बताता रहता है, and suddenly your brain starts responding to it. So this is how it happens. Birds की chirping को ज़्यादा response हम देते नहीं हैं, but they are also some indicators. कोई झगड़ा कर रहा हो तो आजकल मुंबई जैसे शहरों में उस झगड़े से लोग बाहर रहना ही पसंद करते हैं, लेकिन बाहर से उसका वीडियो शूटिंग जरूर करते हैं। या फिर कोई अगर साथ में कुछ गा रहा हो या समथिंग, तब भी लोग सारे ही पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते, वो गाते रहते हैं या समथिंग। So the response that we give to our everyday life experiences is very connected to prayer. So effects of sound, they have a very different kind of effect on brain. So आप यहाँ पर देखिए, ये हमारे पास ये है एक आप देख सकते हैं एक ब्रेन इमेज आपको दिखाई दे रही है, which is a ultrasound scan which tells you how it affects our brain. So as you can see, the A image is of the sounds of living objects, which gives us little stimulation in our brain. So can you see this? Is the image clear to all of you? Hello?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes,
Right.
very good. Okay. So, in the first image, the sound of living object, they give a small kind of stimulation. Sounds of man-made objects, they produce the maximum amount of stimulation compared to the um, sounds by other living objects like birds or something. So as you can see, किसी ने गाई हुई प्रेयर या फिर किसी ने कहा हुआ कुछ, किसी के मुंह से आया हुआ कुछ, किसी इंसान के, हमारे ब्रेन में सबसे ज्यादा स्टिमुलेशन तैयार करता है. So in the C image, you can see the mean difference of this. It is shown in the purple color. So man-made and living object, उसका अगर आप रेशो देखें तो it is 0.01 and -0.01. इसके बीच में आपको नीचे दिखाई देगा. So this is little statistical and very technical. But एक चीज आप सोचने की कोशिश करिए कि कोई अगर कुछ कह रहा है तो इंसान का कहा हुआ हमें ज्यादा याद आता है. The retrieval is easier of the sounds which are man-made rather than which are by other living objects. Why is that so? Because we as humans, we are better at listening. Our listening abilities are far better than the other mammals or living objects. Some mammals possess even better auditory capacities than humans. So कुछ ऐसे आवाज हमें सुनने चाहिए जो हमारे ब्रेन पर पॉजिटिव परिणाम कर सके. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इन आवाजों से तैयार हुआ स्टिमुलेशन आप देख सकते हैं कि जहां पर कान से ऊपर इमीडिएटली जो पैराइटल लोब है उसमें नजर आ रहा है. I'll just magnify that for your convenience. Yes, now you can see this. The stimulation is in the frontal cortex and also in the parietal lobe. Both stimulations you can see, they are signified with the parrot green and red color. As the intensity of stimulation increases, the color also is getting darker and it is becoming red, more red. So you can see the intensity of how it is increased for a man-made object or a man-made sound. So we try to measure the mean difference, or we try to measure how the effect over brain is due to a man-made sound or man-made object. So frequency is something what we landed upon. अगर हम प्रेयर्स की बात करें या फिर ज्यादातर प्रेयर्स में हमारे जो रिपीटेशंस आते हैं, कई सारे शब्दों के रिपीटेशंस हमारे प्रेयर्स में आते हैं. Like there are stotras, there are mantras. Mantras are shorter, stotras are little longer in length. But whenever we chant them, I think this is the best self-help tool while you are in the me time. ऐसा कहा जाता है that whenever you are spending some me time, what you should do is something which relaxes yourself, which gives you some sort of calmness, which gives you some sort of quietness and a feeling of composition. So to feel more composed, what you do is to spend some time with yourself, and while performing a prayer or while doing some prayer, you can spend the best sort of me time with yourself, and you can get relaxed, you can feel positive, you can relieve your stress, whatever you have developed so far. So this is something very interesting. अगर आप सोचने की कोशिश करें तो स्ट्रेस से बाहर निकलने के लिए what we need generally is some quiet place, some time to unwind, something to digest, or you can say some kind of resilience to overcome the stress. और वो हमें prayers दे सकते हैं. So my answer is yes, even it is scientifically proven. Let's just peep into how it is helpful for relieving the stress. Now, as you can see, the number of times that we chant a stotra or the number of times that we chant a mantra we happen to produce a particular kind of frequency because human brain and human mouth is a device which can produce a kind of frequency. Now, if we keep talking about the waves, now science has discovered four different types of waves. As we have electric waves, we have magnetic waves, we also now have gravitational waves, and now we have um, what you can say earth waves as well. So earth waves were earlier considered to be a part of something which we did not know, and this theory can go up to the comparison of matter to antimatter or something like that. But why is it necessary to understand the importance of frequency? Is that how frequent you can be able to produce positive vibes, positive sounds, and if you want to produce positive vibes, you can pray, or rather, prayer will help you to produce some positive vibes and some um, positive environment around, I can say. So now you can see frequency is used for many purposes. Yes. So just have a look. I work on radio, so I deal with the frequency quite frequently, so that I could relate this to my work. Now, for statistics, we use the frequency. How frequently a number occurs is something very interesting to know, because we can draw some kind of inference on the basis of the frequency of the numbers. So this is how it is for radio, or rather the you can say the transfer of messages. We use the frequency, and also you can see Alia Bhatt sitting over with a Morse code device, which used only frequency to transmit some kind of messages, and for that she used a code language. Now I can also call prayer to be kind of code language to create some frequency to reach your almighty or reach your positive vibe which you need. um, let's just move ahead and uh, try to understand what and how a frequency is made. Just take an example of any prayer or any stotra or any mantra, and try to imagine how is it. For example, I'll just take Kendriya Vidyalay's prayer, which is a uniform prayer practiced in every Kendriya Vidyalaya. Since I'm associated with KV for last 10 years, I have been listening to this prayer in every campus that I'm in. So the prayer is something like that. दया कर दान विद्या का हमें परमात्मा देना, दया करना हमारी आत्मा में शुद्धता देना. So वतन के वास्ते जीना, वतन के वास्ते मरना, वतन पर जान फिदा करना, प्रभु हमें सिखा देना is the prayer. But this is sung in such a melodious way that if you visit any Kendriya Vidyalaya out of 1216 campuses all over India and also outside India, you'll find the same prayer with the same melodious rhythm. All the thousands of students, they sing together, and they together produce some positive vibes, some sort of temperament which helps them study and perform better while in the classroom. So prayer is something which actually helps you to create temperament for the work that you will be starting, and that too on a positive note, though it be of any religious group, though it be of any community, but anything. This is the self help tool to produce the temperament, to keep up with the motivation, and to start something. It gives you courage to actually put forward your first foot in the field or for the work that you are about to commence, that you are about to begin. And that's why prayers are generally made in the beginning and also at the end of any program. So now, just try to think, just start thinking with me that why do we pray at the commencement and also at the end of some topic or some program? Why do we do that? Just so that it expresses a sense of gratitude to something which is not in your hand. There is a luck factor. I mean, science also has got an argument that they know almost 95% or say 99% of the matter, and also about the non-matter things or non-living things. But there is still 1% something which is not known to humans. And this 1% is in our prayers. Many a times, prayer is also the last resource of healing. Whenever we happen to see in the Bollywood movies कि अब उससे दवा की नहीं दुआ की जरूरत है. So this is the last resort that you sometimes leave upon the situation or the Almighty, that अगर कुछ होना है तो हमारे हाथ में अभी कुछ नहीं है, जो भी कुछ होगा तो only Almighty can do that. And that's why in dua also we tend to ask for something better and ask for someone's good, someone's better. Why is that so? Because sounds can heal. What sounds generally heal us knowingly or unknowingly? Though it be ringing bells, though it be running water, whispering leaves, soothing melodies, softly spoken words, chanting of sutras and mantras, chanting of Om. These sounds are specially used for the purpose of healing. What sort of healing is expected over here is the mental satisfaction, little soothing with that, and it generally happens with the man-made sounds more. But these sounds, they have some nature sound or the natural sounds as well. Because sounds is one of the keys that directly reach to our parietal lobe, where we can process the sound, we can decode the message, and we can also understand what sort of frequency are we receiving with the use of these sounds. As this is so powerful, sound or listening or auditory skills are made to be a very prior or very peculiar aspect of our learning process. Just imagine, we tend to copy, or rather we can imitate somebody, how he or she speaks. How do we do so? How can we exactly try to imitate the style of speaking of someone who is trying to or who rather impresses us or who rather influences us? We tend to copy them, and we also rehearse the style many a times in front of mirror as well. So how do we do so? Just with the help of good auditory memory. और इसी की वजह से हमारी सारी शिक्षा पद्धति ये श्रवण केंद्री बनाई गई है. श्रवण केंद्र इसलिए कि एक्टिव लिसनिंग के साथ we tend to listen the sounds and we happen to remember them better than the tactile or olfactory sensations, or rather the visual feedback or facial feedback of people. And that's why 70% of our education system is based over the auditory skills. And therefore, in so many educational institutions and in so many therapies, what we treat first is the auditory skills and also active listening skills among children. So what happens if they happen to listen to prayers? Let's have a look. Our brain can create, receive and differentiate the frequency. किसी ने गुस्से से कही हुई बात कितनी जोर की आवाज में कही जाती है और किसी ने की गई प्रार्थना कितने आवाज में की जाती है, इसमें हम डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑब्वियसली चेंज हो जाती है. नाउ यू कैन सी they have shown here an example of a ट्यूनिंग फोर्क। नाउ उसके जो टाइम्स हैं वो जब एक साथ हिलते हैं, वो हिलते वक्त क्या नजर आता है आपको? यहाँ पर एक फ्रीक्वेंसी तैयार हो रही है, और इस फ्रीक्वेंसी में वो जो साउंड्स है, उसके वेव्स हैं, उसकी जो साइज है वो चेंज हो रही है. So now even they have shown the difference that some waves are compressed and some waves are rarefied. Just have a look at the picture. Okay, just have a look at this picture. So now our brain can differentiate between which sound is lower and which sound is higher. And similarly, we enjoy making sounds. How do we enjoy them? What sounds do we make? Just have a look. A very simple sounds, but that repeats and the frequency is increased. What frequency is this? One, okay, this hand moves back and forth and this hand remains stationary. And the compressions are shown here, while they make pressure waves or compression waves with a slinky, similar to sound waves in the air. Okay, this is how it appears, but they can also create sounds. Or I'm sure many of us must have tried this. Plucking a stretched rubber band shows how a tighter stretch produces higher pitched sounds. Okay, so prayer करते वक्त आपको ये बता जाता है कि आपको अपने आप को रिलैक्स करना है, and something like that. Now this is also another frequency that you can see, जो हम बचपन से सुनते आ रहे हैं. Lower frequency and higher frequency. जब कोई ढोल बजता है तो उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी जनरली लोअर नजर आती है या लोअर सुनाई देती है, बट देन व्हेन देयर इज अ विसल, it produces higher frequency because it is made up with the foo technique or actual human breath. Okay, and here also this frequency is created with the use of muscle power, but what better perceived is the higher frequency than the lowered one. We enjoy making sounds, and that's why we enjoy creating and listening to music. And therefore, we are able to interpret music, and we can differentiate between the frequency, and that's why we can differentiate between the ragas. Ragas is nothing but a permutation combination of several frequencies together. ये जो सारे सुर हैं, ये किस कॉम्बिनेशन में आने चाहिए, तो उस कॉम्बिनेशन का नाम, उस राग का नाम दिया जाता है. कुछ राग पूर्वांग प्रधान होते हैं और कुछ राग उत्तरांग प्रधान होते हैं. मतलब उनकी फ्रीक्वेंसीज पूर्वांग में या तो बड़ी होती हैं और लो होती जाती हैं, लाइक इन असेंडिंग एंड डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर. और कुछ राग उत्तरांग प्रधान होते हैं जिनमें जो हायर फ्रीक्वेंसी साउंड्स होते हैं वो उत्तरार्ध में आते हैं. So in prayer also, some prayers are like that. They start with slower frequencies, but at the end we start chanting them faster and the frequency is harder. And that's why when the frequency increases, it also changes the effect on our mind and also on our brain. So now you can see the frequency is such a powerful variable, I can say, that it produces changes in also the non-living objects. Now you can see the sound waves make vibrations in tightly stretched plastic wrap, and here yes, on the plastic wrap there is salt, and the frequency is made near that, and the salt granules, they have started moving from their place. Or even you can try this. एक खाली बर्तन में प्लास्टिक रैप लगाकर टाइटली उसे बंद करके अगर अंदर की तरफ आप कोई भी चैंटिंग मशीन या फिर कोई भी साउंड मेकिंग डिवाइस रख दो और उसके ऊपर अगर आप नमक रख दो, तो suddenly as the frequency of the music starts changing, the granules also start making moves. according to the waves that they are receiving. और ये भी आप करके देख सकते हैं कि पानी के अंदर अगर दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स में से साउंड वेव्स तैयार होते हैं तो पानी भी अपना रुख बदलता है. सो एज यू कैन सी कि पानी के अंदर भी अगर साउंड वेव्स बने तो वो अपना रुख बदलता है. तो ह्यूमन बॉडी या फिर हमारा शरीर वो तो 70% पानी से बना है. इसका मतलब अगर हमारे शरीर में कुछ पॉजिटिव बदलाव एक्सपेक्टेड हैं तो वो इस फ्रीक्वेंसी की मदद से तैयार हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि पानी ये एक ऐसा इंग्रेडिएंट है जो वेव्स पर रिएक्शन देता है, जो वेव्स के हिसाब से रिएक्ट कर सकता है. सो somebody just I remember somebody just mentioned about Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiment, and I'm referring to the book, sir, and also I'm referring to the actual research that he conducted, and it's brilliant one. Now I'll brief about Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiment a little. That he tried to figure out how water reacts. Okay, you can also read that in the chat box that Dr. Masaru Emoto has written a fantastic book called Secret Life of Water, and why water changes its direction and how water reacts to the difference in the frequencies. So here you can see the this is the imagination by John Lennon, and this is taken while the water is in solid state, and heavy metal song अगर उसे सुनाया जाए तो वाटर मॉलिक्यूल में क्या क्या चेंजेस आते हैं. आप ये सारा स्टडी www.onemindoneenergy.com पर पढ़ सकते हैं. And this is Dr. Emoto's actual study. Now you can have a close observation on this. That a water molecule before offering a prayer, how it was scattered. It did not have any articulated shape or anything, but you just in the next picture you can see that the water molecule after offering a prayer is much articulated. It has got symmetrical design. It has proper shape which you can actually categorize to be a hexagon or something. And also he tried to figure out whether some words, some kind words or positive words by humans also create some change in the water molecule shape. Now, as you can see, thank you or thank you is the word by what you can say is a sign of gratitude. So somebody when shows gratitude to you, the water molecule also is much more articulated, is much more what you can say similarity के साथ वो बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से तैयार हुआ है. There is no scattered molecule you can see around. So thank you or expressing gratitude to something is the highest articulation producing activity to the water, you can say. Love and appreciation also creates a very nice shape, a very articulated shape. But some negative words or some comments like which are actually disappointment, which are of disappointment or annoyance, like you make me sick, I will kill you or something, it destroys the design of the molecule. And water also reacts to some such kind of words said by actually human mouths. And if you really are interested, please go through and read this experiment. It's brilliant because the whole psyche and whole behavior pattern of the molecule is changed just by the frequencies they are receiving. And accordingly, our human behaviors also change because some of us they really function over the vibe. Okay, many of my patients they happen to land up into my clinic, and they generally tell us while leaving, I had very good vibes about this place here. कहीं कहीं जगह पर हम चले जाते हैं और हमें लगता है कि मुझे यहाँ से अभी के अभी निकलना है चाहे जो हो जाए. Why? Because we cannot match up with the vibes there. But when we match up with the vibes, when we find the vibes of some place soothing, we happen to spend more and more time, or rather we tend to keep on searching for the opportunities to visit the places where there are good vibes, positive vibes again and again. And the visit is rather more frequent because we are so much connected to the frequency of the or the vibe of the place. So this is how it all works, and that's why prayers were generally performed in temples, because the place also generates some kind of vibe, and human brain is so active and so reactive rather to the vibes, and that's why prayers were performed more at the at temples where everybody can gather and uh, and they can perform prayers. Okay, so let's see these vibrations or these sound frequency. They help us in also measuring the depth, and also you can see inside the water also sound waves can travel, and that's why water also has got his own sound, which is different than all of us. But I must tell you that because of this water itself, we are able to speak. What do we generally do is, um, we open our mouth and we use our mouth and tongue to create different sounds and to create different sort of voices, because we can control the saliva or a form of water in our mouth. And though it is very automatized process now, we are not so attentive to this process, but we are able to speak and sing prayer because we are made up of water. Okay, and water helps us to produce the sounds. Now, as sound waves work inside the water as well, these fishes, they also create sounds, okay, and communicate within. Or the ships, they use the sonar systems or anything to communicate within, to transfer the information. And similarly, we have a notion that when we sing prayer, it is also heard somewhere and received by the Almighty. Okay, now what is the difference between active and passive listening? Now you can see this is a image of brain. I just used a word called active listening and passive listening. There is a wonderful example of passive listening in our Puranas, that Abhimanyu somehow heard how to go about the Chakra Vyuha, but he did not listen to, or he did not hear the end, or he did not hear the actual necessary information to come out of the Chakravyuha, how the formation of the army would be, and something like that. So, those who have heard this story, they might find it to be really mythological or something, but it is not so, because in the fifth month of the conception, or when we are inside the womb of our mothers, we tend to reply or react to the sounds we receive, because our ears, they start developing in the same month of the conception. So we happen to receive the sound waves directly from our ears, and now you can see uh, we have got such an elaborative ears that we have an ear canal. We receive the signals from the ear canal. We have auditory bones, a very small size of bone there, because of which we are not able to actually move our ears to the direction from where the sound is coming. And now you can see the sound goes inside, it travels through this cochlea, and it reaches up to the um, inside, or you can see the auditory cortex. Okay, they have shown here beautifully how the sound travels. We hear from both the ears, that is not only from one ear but both the ears. इसे स्टीरियो इफेक्ट कहा जाता है. अगर एक ही कान से सुनाई दे रहा हो या एक ही साइड का सुनाई दे रहा हो तो उसे मोनो इफेक्ट कहा जाता है. एंड व्हेन वी listen or hear from both the ears, it is called the stereo effect. And that's why, as you can see, there is an interaction between the sound source is at the left side. Okay, there is no sound source at the right side. yet it is there and it has reverse travel. Now, can you see this? Can you see here with the red and blue arrows that I want to show? Can you see this? So, though the sound source is only in one direction, we happen to receive the sound waves and process them with both side temporal lobe or auditory cortex. So whenever we listen something passively, listen to something passively, like not we are not so really attentive, we are not really mindful about what is going on around us. Still, we happen to receive the sounds and they are stored in our memories. Such as if I tell you to complete this jingle, Vico turmeric, nahi cosmetic, आगे. I'm sure many of you can really complete the jingle with its actual tune and the word. How many of us have really tried to listen to this jingle so particularly, पूरा ध्यान देकर उसे सीखने की कोशिश कितने लोगों ने की है? I'm sure किसी ने नहीं की है, but everybody knows the jingle, everybody knows its words. और अब ये जिंगल बनाकर भी 40 से ज्यादा साल हो गए हैं, लेकिन फिर भी हमारी जनरेशन के बच्चे विको टर्मरिक कहा जाए तो नहीं कॉस्मेटिक, ये इसका आगे का वर्ड है ये जानते हैं एंड दे कैन कंप्लीट दिस सेंटेंस. So this is a very classic example of passive listening. There are so many sounds, they come to our ears passively, we are not so active while listening to those, yet they are stored because we have this ability of storing the sound very properly. And that's why our auditory cortex is at the as is immediately look at that, it's immediately above the ears, it is situated immediately above the ears at the temporal and parietal lobes. Okay, now here let's try to have an even deeper look inside a human brain. Now what I have is a scan of the brain. I think my slide is moving. Just a minute. Yeah. Now you can see a graph and a kind of distribution of numbers here. And this is a scan of the brain. And you can see, you can actually notify the center. Where is it? It is just above the medulla oblongata and pons. Okay, just at the center of the hindbrain and midbrain. As you can see, they tried to measure the activity of that particular center, and it was measured in 3 different conditions where it you can see there is a difference of numbers they have given here. One was in religious chanting, which is shown in the blue color. No chanting, that is resting state, the activity was the highest, and non-religious chanting was also there. Now you can see the level of activities there and the mean difference in between. The X shows us the frequency in hertz and Y shows us the log power. Okay. Now you can see the activity. Now you can see the activity. Just a minute, I think somebody is calling me. Yes, that's right. So this is how it is, and that's why prayer brings very positive changes, okay, in humans, and they also are measured. Now you can see there are various devices used for the measurement of the positive changes that prayers brings to us, such as this EEG, or this is called a device which is electroencephalograph. EEG is a device that measures the brain waves. Now you can see this is something I found out on the web, that the mechanism behind black energy in the blood vessels becoming sparse due to chanting. Now you see the black energy in blood vessels becoming sparse. So as you start chanting or even passively listening to any prayer, the energy in the form of this like blood vessels or something, it starts getting sparse. So that's why prayers is one of the important self-help tools that helps us reducing the negative energy. Now, though it be any religious group or any community, there are many repetitions of the words or the syllables, you can say. In the first picture that you can see, the chanting of this is widely used. In the first picture, you can see there is something related to Muslim and Mughal, something and Allah, and their regular chant is La ilaha illallah Muhammadu Rasulallah. So the la or la is frequent and it is given a kind of frequency. Similarly, in this religious group, as you can see in Gurumukhi, they have written the Omkar. So Ikonkar, Satnam, Karta Purakh, Nirpo, Nirvair, Akala Murat. So something like that they have given here for their prayer. And also in Buddhism, there is Om Mani Padme Hum prayer. So not every prayer is just by the mouth. There are several instruments also are used to perform the prayer, and also music is a kind of a remedial or therapeutic aspect itself. So prayer is one of the tools that might uplift your mood and that might give you a sense of positive reinforcement. And that's why with the use of even the instruments, the prayers are performed. There are so many several instruments you can see here. And what happens in the brain is the music is perceived in the brain, and you can see it corresponds to the apex of cochlea and corresponds to the base of cochlea. This is primary auditory cortex and secondary auditory cortex, which is shown here. Okay, and that's how we react to the melodies and we react to the frequencies of our chant. And as the chants are faster, we happen to enjoy the prayer better. Now, these are also some instruments. They are not actually played with the use of any word prayer. They are just played with the help of water inside them. But they also are used for the therapeutic purposes. Therapy for healing is widely practiced with the use of prayer. Now, you can see here, इसमें जो instrument दिखाए हैं, some of them are from this. The upper picture has got the instrument from Ladakh, and the other picture has got dhan, जिसे कहते हैं. तो ये भी वाइडली यूज किया गया, प्रेयर के लिए ही यूज किया गया इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो कि हीलिंग के लिए इस्तेमाल होता है. सो कीप चैंटिंग एंड कीप स्प्रेडिंग द पॉजिटिविटी. प्रेयर इज सच वन सच थिंग जो छोटे बच्चों को हम सिखाते हैं, जो सबसे पहले उन्हें आ जाए इसके लिए हम कोशिश करते हैं. एक साथ मिलकर हम अगर प्रेयर कहें तो इट बिकम्स अ फैमिली एक्टिविटी एंड इट ऑल्सो हेल्प्स अस बूस्टिंग द फैमिली टाइज. पहले दिनों ऐसे हुआ करता था कि आपको प्रेयर के वक्त के पहले घर पर आना है. सो प्रेयर वाज सो पर्टिकुलर इन द शेड्यूल दैट इट हैज टू बी देयर इन योर डेली रूटीन कि आपको नहाने के बाद सबसे पहले अगर कुछ करना है तो प्रेयर ही करनी है, एंड देन you start your daily course. And also at the end of your daily course, before going to sleep, you should offer the prayers, you should offer the gratitude to the Almighty, and that's how it is been taught to us. So this is something what I had to share with all of you. I shall just stop sharing the screen. I'm here to answer any questions if there are any. I think I'm well in time. I'm not exceeding too much. Hello?
Yes. Yeah. Very much in time. Thank you, Manasi. Wonderful.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank BC.
Yes. Okay. So any questions from any of you? I can see there are so many inbox messages. Yes. Okay, I'm reading the chat messages. Okay.
Appreciation challenge.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for the appreciation. And thank you so much for taking this subject as a part of um, knowledge spreading activity.
Thank you, sir.
Yes? Anybody, any question?
मानसी जी, आपने इतना ज्ञान दे दिया है सबको, भी वो सब समझने, उसको समझेंगे, फिर 2 दिन के बाद में आपके पास में आने वाले हैं सब लोग क्वेश्चन पूछने के लिए.
ओह, ओके ओके. आई होप मतलब मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत टेक्निकल लग सकता है आपको, बट दीज आर ऑल साइंटिफिक एविडेंसेस दैट आई हैड, और दैट्स व्हाई आई केप्ट ऑल ऑफ देम टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड बेटर.
नहीं, वही तो बात थी ना, जब लास्ट ईयर आपका जो प्रेजेंटेशन था
जी.
on the basis of that, when everybody suggested that we want to understand more of scientific base from Mansi ji, we requested Vaje sir.
थैंक यू.
वजह सर मानसी जी को लेके आना ही है आपको कैसे भी.
Thank you so much. I also wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you, because gratitude is something we are actually forgetting. फिलहाल के दिनों में gratitude के लिए किसी के पास वक्त नहीं होता ज़्यादा, but once it is expressed, it shows wonderful effect, and you can also experience that.
Gratitude we have to show entire day we are getting something from someone, something from someone, from everywhere we are getting something, and we must be grateful to all those. Each creature is giving us something.
Yes, absolutely.
Each moment we are getting something from someone.
Yes, yes.
Directly or indirectly.
Absolutely. Thank you, thank you. Yes.
Krishna
Somebody is
Kumar,
writing, surprised to know that other than the tongue, the saliva plays a role in our sound. Yes, it does. Because just imagine how dry we would have felt if we are not hydrating our mouth. The saliva keeps our mouth hydrating, and the moments are easier due to that, and that's why we are able to speak so fluent or so frequent.
Krishna Kumar wanted to say something.
हाँ,
Yes.
नमस्ते मानसी जी, नमस्ते वजह
नमस्ते,
सर.
नमस्ते.
बहुत एक साधारण सा सवाल पूछता हूँ. बहुत से लोग प्रार्थना करते हैं,
जी.
एंड बेसिकली तो मैं जो समझ पाया हूँ अभी तक, प्रार्थना का मतलब आप अपना ग्रेटिट्यूड बताना चाहते हैं ईश्वर को और उसको धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं. लेकिन फिर भी चूंकि आपने इस विषय पे काफी अच्छी रिसर्च की है, तो आप एक शॉर्ट में जरा सा हम सबको गाइड कीजिए कि किस तरीके से हमें प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए. बिल्कुल. मतलब अगर हम जानते हैं तो भी हम आपसे सुनना चाहेंगे.
Very difficult.
तो वजह सर से पूछना चाहूंगा, आपसे भी पूछना चाहूंगा. प्लीज मानसी, गो अहेड.
I think sir मुझसे senior हैं, so I request him first to please give some explanation, and I'll explain later on.
Thank you.
What is that? What is that you are expecting?
तुम्ही आधी सांगा
कृष्ण
की.
कुमार, रिपीट करो तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन.
हाँ, नमस्ते वजह सर.
नमस्ते.
हाँ, वजह साहब, सबको ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे प्रार्थना करनी आती है, लेकिन प्रार्थना का मतलब ज्यादातर लोग ये समझते हैं कि भगवान से क्या मांगना है. बट मैं समझता हूँ कि वो नहीं होता है. प्रार्थना का मतलब आप अपना ग्रेटिट्यूड, आप अपनी जो कृतज्ञता का भाव मन में रख के ईश्वर से एकाकार होते हैं. लेकिन ये हम आपसे जानना चाहते हैं, वजह सर से जानना चाहते हैं, मानसी मैम से जानना चाहते हैं कि प्रार्थना किस तरीके से हमें ईश्वर से कैसे कम्युनिकेशन करें, कैसे वो प्रार्थना करें. थैंक यू.
For that, one needs to be one with God. Actually, as I told you in my presentation also, that
Yes.
even words are not required good prarthana. It even the mukta, जो है dumbness, that also you can have prarthana, because I told you, gave you examples where that kid did not know anything, any words or he could not even formulate a sentence. Still, you become totally focused on that supreme power, and whatever desires you may have, you may express or you may not express. You have to say that because he is omniscient, वो तो सर्वज्ञ है. तो इसके तो देखिए, that's why in the pictures also we see in the movies कि भगवान आप तो सब जानते हैं, मैं अभी क्या बताऊं, तो जो मेरे हित का है वो मेरे लिए करे, यानी वी डोंट नॉट आस्क फॉर एनीथिंग स्पेसिफिक, वी ओनली से दैट आई एम टोटली डिवोटेड, सरेंडर टू दिस, दैट feeling of surrender has to be there in प्रार्थना, there has to be a surrender to the God. So now you, मेरा जो भला बुरा है वो आप ही करो, जो आप करेंगे वो मेरे लिए अच्छा होगा, ये जो भाव रहता है ना, that is प्रार्थना. So you don't have to specify something कि मुझे पैसा चाहिए, मुझे अच्छी नौकरी चाहिए. This is not the way. मेरे लिए जो हित का है, whatever is in my interest, because आप तो सर्वज्ञ, आप तो सभी जानते हैं, तो इसलिए मेरे लिए जो हित का है वो आप करें. That is the crux of प्रार्थना.
थैंक यू.
मैं सरेंडर से ज्यादा सबमिशन ये वर्ड इस्तेमाल करना चाहूंगी. सरेंडर से सबमिशन मुझे ज्यादा अप्रोप्रिएट लग रहा है. बट एज जस्ट वज़े सर सेड, मेरे ख्याल से प्रार्थना के कुछ कायदे हैं. हर कम्युनिटी में, हर रिलीजियस ग्रुप में प्रार्थना के लिए वक्त डिसाइड किया गया है कि आपको दिन के कौन से वक्त में प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए. और उसे करने के लिए जब प्रार्थना भी सिखाई जाती है कि आपको ऐसे प्रार्थना करती हैं, तो उसके साथ साथ फिजिकल जेस्चर्स बताए गए हैं. कुछ लोग खड़े रहकर प्रार्थना करते हैं, कुछ लोग बैठकर करते हैं, कुछ लोग हाथ ऐसे जोड़कर प्रार्थना करते हैं, लेकिन कुछ लोग आंखें बंद करके प्रार्थना करते हैं. सो एवरी रिलीजियस ग्रुप हैज गॉट देयर ओन नॉर्म्स टू परफॉर्म देयर प्रेयर. लेकिन इन सब का जो पर्पस है वो यही है कि आपको शांति मिले, आपका स्ट्रेस रिलीज हो और आपके मन में कुछ पॉजिटिव वाइब्स तैयार हों, जो कि आप एक कम्युनिटी एक्टिविटी की तरह कर रहे हो, which is also a tool to bring in the communal harmony. So एक ऐसी जगह पर, मतलब अब तो ये इतने बनते नहीं, लेकिन पुराने दिनों इतने हजारों मंदिर, इतने हजारों चर्चेस, इतने हजारों मस्जिद, इतने हजारों प्रार्थना घर अलग अलग रिलीजियस कम्युनिटी के तैयार हुए. और वहां पर लोग जाते थे ताकि वो ध्यान कर सकें, ताकि वो प्रेयर्स ऑफर कर सकें, ताकि वो एक ही विषय पर पूरे फोकस के साथ चिंतन कर सकें. आज भी अगर आप मॉनेस्ट्री जैसे प्रार्थना घरों में चले जाएं, बुद्धिस्ट लोगों की जो मॉनेस्ट्रीज होती हैं, तो वहां पर अध्ययन के लिए अलग से जगह रखी जाती है. पुराने दिनों मंदिरों में भी अध्ययन के लिए जगह होती थी. तो जहां पर सबसे ज्यादा फोकस तैयार होता है, जिसके साथ मतलब भगवान के साथ, उसी फोकस को हम ज्ञानवर्धन में अगर लगाएं, तो अध्ययन और प्रार्थना एक साथ होना पॉसिबल है. ये बहुत पुराने दिनों में लोगों ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से समझी हुई एक साइकोलॉजिकल तरकीब है, और यू कैन से एक साइकोलॉजिकल मैट्रिक्स है कि अगर हमें फोकस पाना है तो फोकस के लिए यूज किया हुआ टूल ये प्रार्थना होगा. और उसके बाद फोकस जैसे ही बढ़ेगा वो हम अध्ययन के लिए, ज्ञानवर्धन के लिए इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. सो मेरे हिसाब से प्रार्थना कभी भी कोई भी किसी भी वक्त कर सकता है, ओनली इफ यू कैन सबमिट yourself to something and you can feel the presence of Almighty. You can feel that you are submitting to Him and pray for that. I think I have been able to give you enough. I had.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mansi. Thank you.
आत्मसमर्पण की भावना होनी चाहिए.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. अगर समर्पण करना सीखो तो ही सम्मान देना सीखोगे.
सही है, सही
और
है.
सम्मान अगर चाहिए हो तो पहले समर्पण जरूरी है.
समर्पण,
जो समर्पण करता है उसी को सम्मान मिलता है.
सही है, बिल्कुल सही.
तो सम्मान अगर चाहिए हो तो पहले आपको समर्पण सीखना पड़ेगा, और वो सिखाने के लिए हमें प्रेयर सिखाए गए.
Thank you.
Yes, Gracie madam.
Yes.
Yes, now KK will give us vote of thanks.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Is there anything left to say? Mansi?
Any
sir?
other question? No.
Mansi,
My
anything
session
else?
is done. No. Yes, it's done.
वजह सर, मानसी मैम, आपको खूब खूब हृदय की गहराइयों से नमस्कार. एंड मैं कोई फॉर्मल वोट ऑफ थैंक्स नहीं दूंगा. मैं यही कह सकता हूँ कि बस बहुत बढ़िया लगा. एंड आप लोग जो साधना है, आप लोगों का जो मैसेज है, एंड मैं ऐसा समझता हूँ कि ये दूर तक जाएगा। काफी लोगों को मैं देख रहा हूँ पार्टिसिपेंट एकदम दिल से जुड़े रहे, लास्ट तक जुड़े रहे, एक एक सेकंड जुड़े रहे, बड़े ध्यान से आप दोनों की बातें सुन रहे थे। एंड
Thank you.
बहुत सामान्य सी बात है लेकिन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात है। एंड सबसे बड़ी गलती भी वही होती है, क्योंकि प्रार्थना का मतलब बेसिकली हम समझ नहीं पाते हैं, लेकिन आप दोनों ने हम सबको एनलाइटन किया है। सो वेरी वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू बोथ ऑफ यू।
थैंक
एंड
यू।
आपको हाथ जोड़ के कृतज्ञता के साथ आपको धन्यवाद। एंड बीसीएस को धन्यवाद, हमारी ग्रेसी मैम को धन्यवाद कि हमें ऐसे ऐसे मौके मुहैया कराती है सभी दोस्तों को। मैं देख रहा हूँ चेन्नई से मेरे कुछ फ्रेंड्स जुड़े हुए हैं, नवरत्न सर, एंड वो
Oh,
क्वेश्चंस रेज कर रहे हैं। हाँ, ऑल ओवर कंट्री से मैम, खाली बॉम्बे से।
okay, okay.
जो आप लोगों का मैसेज दूर तक जाएगा और हम जल्दी और वापस आप दोनों को सुनना चाहेंगे इस विषय पे।
श्योर श्योर, हम बस इतना ही कहना चाहेंगे कि दुआओं में याद रखना।
बिल्कुल 100% मैडम, 100%।
Take care of everyone.
मानसी मानसी नाम ही ऐसा है, मन से मन से याद रहता है।
नहीं, it was a very 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 delightful experience and
Thank
very
you.
purposeful and very fruitful. Thank you so much to all of you.
और चंद्रशेखर के बिना तो कुछ काम चलता ही नहीं है, पूरी दुनिया चल ही नहीं सकती चंद्रशेखर के बिना।
बिल्कुल। Thank you sir, thank you,
थैंक यू विजय सर।
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was our pleasure. We pray for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next meeting is on homeopathy,
होम्योपैथी।
second Tuesday of June.
ओके।
So thank you everyone.
So I think it's
Thanks
good
to the events team. Thanks to the events team, the technical team. Thanks to my co-conveners. Thanks to Govind, KK, and all participants who attended and stayed throughout. In our Bible, there is a prayer, the Lord's Prayer it is called. It is called, the prayer is, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. Amen.
जे खळांची व्यंकटी सांडो तया सत्कर्मी रती वाढो भूता परस्परे जडो मैत्र जीवाचे is something all great minds think alike.
Thank you.
Yes.
See you again.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.